out of the darkness and into the fire. Whoa, 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 out of the darkness and into the fire. Nico, he left us all to roam. Brother, 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 you are not alone. Oh.
get you, gotta get it before it's gone. Get it before it's gone. I'm gonna live life just like a butterfly. It's here today, then kiss the world goodbye. Noon is breaking, I'm making my way. Don't throw shade on a sunny day. Gonna get it before it's gone. Get it before it's gone. Oh yeah, get it before it's gone. Get it now. Gone, get gonna get you. Gotta get it before it's gone. Get it before it's gone. Come on and get it now. You spend too much time locked up in that room. Worried about what you was gonna do. People are dying and friends are far away. Later is always too late. Later is always too late. Yeah. Later is always too late. Now we got to get it before it's gone. Get it before it's gone. Oh yeah, get it before it's gone. Come on and get it now. Gone, get going and get you. Gotta get it before it's gone. Get it before it's gone. Come on, rock boy, help us get it now. Let's hear you sing it. Well, Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, bound to go away. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, bound to go away. Well, peaches in the summertime, apples in the fall. If I can't have the girl I love, I'll have no one at all. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, bound to go away. I used to have an old banjo, the strings were made of twine. The only song that it would play was Trouble on My Mind. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, bound to go away. Well, Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, bound to go away. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, my little love, bound to go away. Thank y'all.
Shaving my shoulders, I'm getting it all shaved off. Shaving my shoulders, I'm getting it all shaved off. Shoulders, 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 I'm getting it all shaved off. Shoulders.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Sorry, I got myself a bag of treats because, you know, going to a CIA event and being like, hey, the CIA is bad. It's, you know, puts you in a weird position. I got anxiety. What can I say? I still ask the question. Which we can talk about a little bit off the top. So, I mean, we're gonna get to the news shortly, but let's talk about this event that I went to. It was hosted by this group at TMU, who where am I trying to go here? Okay, I guess that's good. It was hosted by this group at TMU, and essentially what they hope to do is be a nonpartisan host of different speakers. And these speakers would talk about current events. So I actually don't know the name of the guy off the top of my head. I probably should. I just spent an hour and a half listening, 2 hours listening to his bullshit. Let me see if I can pull it up here. He served 12 years in the CIA. They didn't say specifically when, but through my own research through C-SPAN. Sorry for the fan, by the way. It's super fucking hot. My own research with C-SPAN, it was 1978 to 1990. And he said he specifically served in the areas that were monitoring the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pacts. Which is great. I love that. So he was talking about Dr. John A. Gentry was discussing how the politicization of the CIA since the Trump era was, you know, dangerous and it's bad. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, like Trump attacking the CIA. That's probably like what he's going to go for, right? Like that's that classic liberal approach. No, dude. So this was about how CIA directors are endangering the medium of U.S. intelligence. One of the consequences of this, by the way, he said, is that there's less trust in U.S. intelligence, which, buddy, I got a whole bunch of reasons why that might be the case. So he was talking about how since 2011, then President Obama started doing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and this naturally brought in, he said, groups that when surveyed, you can see their political leanings into the CIA. And he said from 2009 to 2012, might have been 2013, 2009, 22% minority in the CIA. 2013, 30. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, quite honestly. So it was literally Obama brought in a bunch of blacks and gays and made the CIA left. Not in so many words. He did use the phrase social Marxists and then referred to the Frankfurt School and Antonio Gramsci. So that was fun. And then he finished, and it was a time for a Q&A. So what I did was I let other people go first. You know, I didn't want to come out of the gates too hot because, you know, as much as I would love to just be like, hey, you know, everything that the CIA does has been, you know, you could be tried at The Hague for doing good things. So essentially what I asked my question was, you know, I kind of prefaced it with the CIA is notorious for actions in the international sphere. But you brought up that this diversity and equity and inclusion started in 2011. And in 2014, the CIA, seemingly retaliatory against the Senate commission that was investigating them for using torture, it, quote, I found a New York Times article at the time, it, quote, penetrated their system and then used that to lobby complaints against the commission. So, I don't know, dude. How do you reconcile that with being leftist? Because this is supposedly 3 years after this thing started for you. And his answer was that he saw that as more of a clash between the executive branch and the congressional branch of the U.S. government. What? What? I mean, it was wild. I was the only person who had a quote unquote antagonistic question and like challenged his premise, because that's literal nonsense, of course. So I'm glad that happened. But nobody else seemed to question the premise. There was somebody who said, you know, you said diversity is bad, but like, what are the positives you see? And then he kind of went on a long-winded way of saying that the CIA valued diversity of opinion and that the CIA hasn't discriminated in hiring for decades. And when he talked about Bill Clinton doing the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, he said it was primarily for blackmail reasons. So, a bunch of CIA agents came out after a while. So, and he said when they were in the closet, they did good work as straight men. It was weird, but we don't need to talk about that too much. We're going to get to the news. And boy, howdy, are we going to get to the news. First of all, just to start, if you haven't read this, this is my latest article about... sorry, just move over a little bit there. Might be good. This is my latest article about how the news media in Canada and a little bit of the U.S. has basically whitewashed Yaroslav Hunka, the Waffen-SS veteran, and just a little bit more about exactly why that is, because capitalism and fascism share the same zealous hatred of communism. And it's a piece I'm really proud of. I think I want to thank Zoe for helping me edit a couple parts. I'm not going to go through it here. Just wanted to bring it up. So what am I going to go through? Well, let's start with some good news. Let's start with some great news, in fact. And we're just going to watch a short video from CTV. And make sure that... Oh, wrong one. I hate when that happens. The world sucks. Toronto rent strikes. 2 more buildings join 5-month protest. Let's watch this and hopefully get a little bit more insight on what's going on in Toronto, because this is good news. That's all I have to say.
Strike! Rent! Strike! Rent! Strike! Tenants taking action. More than 100 residents at 2 apartments in the city's northwest are joining an ongoing rent strike. Good evening. The tenants who live at 1440 and 1442 Lawrence Avenue West claim their landlord has refused to make serious repairs while trying to raise rents above guidelines.
The group has now joined the York South-Weston Tenants Union in what is being described as the largest rent strike in Toronto's history. CTV Sean Leithong has been following the story.
Sorry, I'm bringing the mic down because I had problems with it. So, the biggest rent strike in Toronto history, that's huge. That's awesome. Rent strikes are incredibly risky. I want to say that everybody who is organized to the point where the tenants feel comfortable enough doing this, kudos to you, kudos to the tenants. Quite frankly, this is something that could spur something a little bit larger. I believe there was a piece, I think it was in the Maple, but it might have been Canadian Dimension. I can't think off the top of my head. But the Landlord-Tenant Board, which all things have to go through, was basically created in order to support landlords. And that's something that we need to keep in mind whenever people say go to the Landlord-Tenant Board. Absolutely, this is the procession that needs to happen. But as an institution, as we've seen back earlier, I think it was 2021, I think it was when evictions got lifted. It was like less than a minute hearings lasted. So this is good, and we're going to hear a little bit more about why specifically they're going on rent strike. So let's watch a little bit more.
Historian joins us live with the latest. Sean.
Well, Raheem and Andrea, tenants I spoke to today said that the problem started in 2017 when new management came aboard. Before that time, they said that all the work would get done in a timely fashion. Now, they say they have a hard time getting maintenance repairs in their units, and the rent keeps going up, leaving them no choice.
We are not going to take it anymore.
Taking a stand. Tenants at 2 apartment buildings are on a rent strike for what they say are unjustified rent increases and poor living conditions.
My rent actually was $1,100. Now, in this year, like altogether, it's like $1,400.
Adila Safi, her husband.
That's wild. The reason I found out about this story was through a CBC article, and we're going to look at it a little bit later. I don't know if I'll watch all this because, it's CTV news, so I feel like you should watch it to get the full picture. I don't want to trample on all that for content reasons. Let's say that. But the CBC article that I read said that this is what the tenants has been saying, is that Canada Post has stopped delivering there because it's a health hazard. They've designated it a work hazard, so workers don't feel comfortable working there, which is completely off the wall just to think about happening. So hopefully they bring it up in this, and we'll see. I haven't watched this clip yet, but let's listen to it a little bit longer.
And 2 young children live at 1440 Lawrence Avenue West. Their building, along with 1442 Lawrence West, have over 100 apartments who are refusing to pay rent. She says her rent is increasing while the landlord is slow to provide maintenance.
This takes actually 6 to 8 months for them to come in and take a picture or to do the work done.
Pamela E. has been waiting 3 months to get her bathtub fixed.
I don't know what is taking them that long.
We living like third world country right now.
Rashid Limbada has been living here for 30 years. He says his kitchen counter has looked like this since 2017.
Since 2017? Holy shit. Wow. As somebody who worked as a cabinet maker, I mean, you didn't need me to tell you this, but this does not take 6 years. And also, what the fuck? Okay, I don't know if we're gonna watch the rest of this. Very good news. Obviously, well, let's go through the North York is where it is. But let's go through the CBC article here. Let me just see Canada. Oh my god, I'm working with 2 keyboards here and they're not cooperating. Post. Okay. Bear with me, because, not as good as good. Yeah, the union says things have gotten so bad that at one point, Canada Post put up a notice stating they won't deliver mail to one of the buildings due to health and safety concerns. I didn't realize there was photos, but there are photos. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, so they have documentation. Wow. Okay. Wow, that's ridiculous. Ignore this. Won't necessarily fix the problem. Yeah, that's what happens if landlords don't acquiesce. Need a balancing act. The frequency of rent strikes is telling it's really a symptom of a large problem or a failure of the system to really address certain people and their living conditions. Wow, okay. So rent strikes won't necessarily fix the problem, and then it's like, we need government action. Yeah, no shit. Why do you think there's rent strikes happening? God. absolutely unhinged behavior to be like, it's probably not gonna fix it. Yeah, well, I mean, if everybody goes on strike at once, I understand if you don't want to, because it's like I said earlier, this is a situation where it's really risky, because these people could still have to pay the rent after going to the LTB. So it all could be moot, but it also all could be not moot. And it could be something really good, and the other ones are still going. So I think we're in a good spot here. This just happened, so obviously we don't hear a lot of response from the landlord. But solidarity forever, hell yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to look at this. This is what I posted on Blue Sky, because that was the whole thing. That's what they were talking about. It was really funny. Follow me on Blue Sky if you're on there, at ucutscott.bsky.social. That's me. Not on Twitter anymore. Got banned. Okay, so now that we're done that, I want to talk about a little bit of an update from the Nazi story. Everybody's post an upside down face in the chat is what I'm gonna be saying. But yeah, no, Trudeau says that he's going to consider releasing the names of ex-Nazis who live in Canada. This is from the Duchesne report, I believe it was 1986. And the first one was kind of recommendations about, the first part of the report was recommendations about what to do. Obviously fucking nothing, because this was done almost 40 years ago. And then this thing really stuck out to me. Quebec Liberal MP Anthony Housefather, what a name, said it's a delicate issue because the government doesn't want to bring pain to a lot of Eastern European communities. You know what might be a little bit more painful? Is if you have a Nazi in your midst. Maybe. I'm just saying, like, what the fuck? It might be painful for Eastern European communities. My God. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, the Tory MP who was like, what does he say? History is painful, but that doesn't mean we don't need to reckon with it. That's not. This is. Okay, who's the one that... Oh, yeah, okay, it was the Conservative MP Gerard Delta, Poilievre's environment critic, said Wednesday he's not open to revisiting the issue right now. I don't think so. I don't think it's the occasion to review it. At this time, I'm not there. I don't think it's time to review everything. History is history. So, man, history is history, eh? That's great. Except for there's still fucking Nazis here. What do you mean, history is history? It's not done. They're still around. And this is right after... the Governor General had to apologize for giving an order of Canada to... Is it Peter Severin? Who was the Chancellor of the University of Alberta, and also a Waffen-SS... Also a Waffen-SS veteran. So this isn't done. It's going to keep going. And, of course, as we know, shit's not going to get better. It's insane that this is still going. I'm kind of surprised. I thought it was going to get buried. You can still watch the other stream. By the way, I keep streams up for about a week or so, and then I just private them. There's no point having them all up there. You can watch the other stream if you want, where I basically say I think it's going to get buried because the Liberals did what they needed to do. They blamed Rhoda, and they were like, we had no idea, even though especially Christopher Freeland had an idea. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that it's still going. And at the very end of this piece, I didn't do it because they've been fucking invisible on this entire thing, but NDP leader Jagmeet Singh said he supports releasing the commission's report. Okay, man. You have been where on this whole thing? Jesus. It's kind of embarrassing how bad the NDP's been. Not that I expect them to do better. When a lot of leftists in Canada criticize the NDP, quite frankly, I think it's kind of embarrassing when it's like they need to do this, they should do this. They're not going to. They don't work for you. They are a neoliberal, somewhat, in theory, progressive force. That's it. The Green Party parliamentary leader Elizabeth May also chimed in at the end. Yeah, no, I don't. It's embarrassing. It's truly embarrassing. What else did I want to talk about? That's just a small update. This one is, I've only seen the one story about it, but quite frankly, it's something that's it's like the least surprising thing I've seen. And we can go back to that. We're not going to watch this video because, well, maybe we'll watch a little bit of it. But half of millennials and Gen Z, fuck, am I even Canadian? Paycheck to paycheck in Canada while stressing about climate crisis survey. So it was a report by the Ledger's annual youth survey, and they surveyed 3,000 people. Fear of an unlivable planet and an unviable? Is that a word? Okay. Unviable future, I guess. Women are more likely to be concerned about the environment than men because recycling is gay. I don't remember if you remember that story. Absolutely buck wild that was even a thing. Gen Z is a little bit more confident in their generation, which is totally fair because millennials have been screwed over in major ways. And Gen Z has been too, but I would say millennials have seen more major screw-ups. The dot-com bubble crash, the 2008 crash. We were at least a little bit more cognizant of reality at that point. Occupy, I was in high school for that. And then everything in the past 3 years, which is, it's not good. It's not good. We're basically living in a recession. Apparently the technical definition for recession is 2 quarters in a row where there's no growth. Functionally, we're pretty much in a depression. I've been trying to pay attention to this and see it as much as possible. Even though we're not technically there, that's what that's what it's like. And at the very least, it's the cost of living crisis, the inflation and stuff going on, and nobody's happy. I don't want to get too depressed. Wow, 66% of young Canadians agreed that they do feel generally happy in life. And only 32% said they wouldn't be bothering to save for retirement because they couldn't picture themselves achieving that in the future. Only 32%? That's a third. That's 1 out of every 3 people. That's not a win. That's not a win. Wow, that's a lot. Cool. So, financial strains getting worse. 51% of young Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck, up from 48% in 2022. So, we have a survey here saying that the majority of young Canadians are not able to save. They're trying, but boy, this is just depressing the hell out of me. You know what? I might have an early night tonight. It's been a long day. I had the CIA going, which is always fun, and I was going to talk about the Vietnam COVID scandals. But I think it's such an ongoing thing that we can kind of talk about it next time. So I'm gonna end a bit early today. Just a quick half-hour stream. Just a little update on some of the news. But before I go, I do want to talk about one thing, and it's about how cool Venezuela is for doing something. God, I'm using this keyboard, and it doesn't work on this computer. Okay, good. It took a while to load. Venezuelan Amazon reforestation plan begins. This is a part of a huge multi-tiered plan from Venezuela. And they're sending in a bunch of people to reforest the Amazon, and what they did is they kicked out 14,000 illegal miners from the area, and they wanted to stop illegal mining activities. There's something here. At the end here, in the operation, 51 members of criminal gangs were captured, more than 14,000 illegal miners were evicted, 11 rafts, 350 power plants, 1,675 motor pumps, 49 crushing mills, and 284 suction turbines were seized, among other implements. That's so cool. So now we have something that is going to be good for the world, and Maduro and Venezuela is implementing this. Hell yeah, is all I have to say. So we'll end on some good news. Won't keep going too much longer. Nice and quick and easy and fast. I'm super hot. I'm super tired. I'm hungry. I want to sleep. And we'll talk next week. Maybe not next week. Next week's reading week, I might take a week off. Yeah. Have a good night, everybody. Talk to each other soon.